Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington Tea Touch practitioner for animals and people. And this is Tristan. He's a Corgi. And we're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. Hi, Angel. Good morning. I always look so pleasant. Well, believe me, it's all smoke and mirrors. So, or my hair, maybe it just makes me look pleasant. Today we are doing this Facebook Live, even though I didn't think we would be doing it because I was supposed to be well on my way to a town north of Albany to my friend Karen to help me with my Corgi, to help him learn dog agility. She's like a very high level Corgi agility trainer. She has won everything you can win in agility with her many Corgis. And driving 2.5 hours each way is worth it to me to get some advice from her. And she's been so generous on the phone. However, due to those kinds of things that happen in the world, which is what we're going to talk about today, she did not know when I was coming. There was like all layers of misunderstandings. A third person was going to come with me. She was doing a group text, which didn't actually go to the group. There were just all kinds of problems. And so when I texted Karen yesterday afternoon, well, actually that's part of the problem. We weren't texting, we were Facebook messengering. And people don't check that all the time, even especially Karen. She gets a lot of messages. So anyway, by the time she got my message and found out I was coming today, which to her was new news, even though I'd been planning it for 2 weeks, she had already scheduled to do some work for somebody today, so she could not do today. And I didn't realize that she couldn't do it until I was out at dinner with my friends last night at 8:45 when I was trying to show them a picture of her dog. So that threw my life into a tailspin. And, you know, as I get older, this gets easier, but it's not been that hard for me for many years. But I know a lot of people get very stuck in their plan, and they get really upset when things don't go as planned. So I was, had a minute of going, what am I going to do? I need to see her. What's happening? But then I had to continue my dinner conversation, drive home, take care of my dog, all that stuff, and think about it a minute. So when I finally wrote back to her at like 9:45, I said, geez, I can't do Saturday, because she had said maybe Saturday the weather's going to be good. But I have so many things going on tomorrow, God willing that they work out. But Sunday I could come up there, but I'd have to come later. And of course, we're supposed to have spotty thunderstorms. So we'll be doing jumps in between the raindrops if that works out. I have not heard back from Karen, actually. But so many things have tumbled around me since then. Another friend was supposed to come down here yesterday to have me work with her dachshunds and hang out and do stuff as we do when she's in the area, and her plans fell apart. So now she's coming today. Theoretically, I would have been in Albany all day and I wouldn't have been able to see her, but now we have a plan for our dogs to play. She has dachshunds, and I'm really wanting them to run around my backyard and look for the you-know-what that's out there. We'll have to put them in a hazmat suit, though, because the grass is really long. So now I'll get to see her. And then another friend / client has a desperate need for an emergency craniosacral session, and she has changed her time 4 times since she first contacted me at 8 this morning. But again, I would not be able to help her if I had supposedly been going to Albany. So, things just are unexpected, and you have to go with the flow and realize that whatever happens for a reason, which leads to one of the talks that I'm going to do in a couple of days. But if you get too rigid in what's going on in your life, it just leads to disappointment and difficulty. And if you just let things unfold the way that is the easy way, which may be hard in your head to accept, things usually move along much better. And I have to say, I have learned a lot of this from Linda Tellington, because when we go to a class with Linda, and this is very frustrating for people, Christine might be able to mention something about this, she does what the dogs need. Yes, we want to learn the touches. Yes, we want to learn the groundwork. Yes, we want to learn about the equipment and our harnesses and the wraps. And we have 5 days to do that, which I think is cutting it close. We used to have 7 and 10-day classes, but people can't get away like that anymore, nor afford it. So we have 5-day classes. And, to a new person on day 2, you might think this is, we could have learned everything in 2 days, but then it gets layers and layers, and you start to think, oh my God, I want to be here a month. So with Linda, there's several ways you can teach T-Touch. You can just say, okay, we're going to have a 3-day class. Day 1, all body work. We're not doing anything else. Day 2, all equipment. We're not doing anything else. Day 3, a confidence course. That's all we're going to work on. But if you do that, you're not honoring the dogs. You're not honoring the learning process of the students in the class. Some people may get some things really easily and other things come to them in a more difficult way. And you might need a review. Maybe on day 3, your dog's in the labyrinth for the confidence course and somebody says, oh, do lying leopards on him. You might not remember what that is unless you get the review. So I have found, as much as certainly when I had my horses, the way Linda teaches her classes was the way I needed it to be and the way I needed to learn. And when you have a horse, you got a 1,000-pound animal that you're trying to do things with, and you have to pay attention to what they need in that moment, because you can't coerce them. You can't really just put them in a crate and walk away and say whatever. You can kind of put them in their stall, but the problem doesn't usually go away when you do that for dogs or horses. So from the beginning, Linda's classes with horses have been like, I can't get him to walk down at that end of the arena. What are we going to do about it? Or I can't get my horse into the trailer. Please help. Or every time I go to get on him, he skips sideways and I can't get my leg in the stirrup. We look at what's causing that. And as you're observing Linda or a group work with this horse that's running sideways when you try to get on him, you discover the saddle doesn't fit. You discover his feet are trimmed unlevel. You discover that his girth is rubbing a bald spot in his hair and skin. And you discover that the person's holding the inside rein so tight that it's pulling the horse away from her. So, there are all these things that, if somebody was just saying, okay, this is the way we get on a horse, obviously somebody said that to this person several times, but they didn't hear it. They didn't feel it. They didn't get it in their body. Their horse didn't understand it. And so they are having this problem getting on their horse. And that's what's the beauty of going with the flow and just letting things unfold the way they need. And so then you are honoring the people and their learning process and the animals and what they need. And that makes such a difference to the peacefulness of the group. We do the same thing in craniosacral therapy classes that I teach. We have a number of things that you have to learn. One builds on the other. And we do go right along through that process. And it's so artfully created by Dr. Upledger and people after him that things really do build one on the other. So there's not a lot of having to go back and re-explain things to somebody who got lost, because you're going over that stuff over and over as you do the next thing. But by the end of those 4 days, cats that don't like dogs are calmly sitting in a room. Dogs that chase cats are sitting next to them, no interest. Rabbits and ferrets are just calmly sitting on someone's lap. And everybody is at peace because they have been honored for who they are and appreciated for the entire 4 days. And that happens in T-Touch classes too. Dogs that are afraid of other dogs, dogs that are shy and won't come out of their crates, people who have issues and don't want to participate suddenly have a lot to contribute about their experience. And so, going with the flow has a lot to be said for it. You learn so much by not being rigid, not sticking to your plan, by being flexible. And this is why I have a hard time doing Facebook Live every morning at the same time, because this is how my life is. I was supposed to be in Albany this morning, and now I'm doing this, and I have a date with my Dachshund pals, and I've got a person coming here for a session, and I've got a few other things that I need to attend to that were not falling into place. And so now my day is very full, and it was completely empty until 8 this morning. So the importance of being flexible extends throughout our lives, not just in our day-to-day things, but certainly with our animals. My friend has a terrier, and she always is trying to walk the dog away from coming to my house. Now, my dog and her dog are in love. They want to be together. They run to each other's houses and drag us behind them. And if she goes to take a walk and tries to go the other way, little Coco digs her feet in, and she's a terrier, even though she's a little Karen this size, you cannot move her. I mean, she knows how to slip her collar. She can get out of her harness, and her person has to really coerce her or just go the way the Coco wants to go. Which, what's the harm in that? Unless you have a real attachment, like you've got to walk to the end of the road in the opposite direction to get your mail or something, go the way your dog wants to go. See what you'll learn. They show us so many amazing things if we just follow their lead. So part of that is not being stubborn and attached to what you would like to do that day, but going in a flexible way and doing what your dog needs to do. So who knows, maybe on Sunday when we go to our agility training, something wonderful will happen that wouldn't have happened today. You never know. So thanks for joining us today. Go with the flow throughout your day, and we'll see how your days unfold. And I think that's one of the problems when you have a real job. Of course, you have to go with the flow at your job for sure, but you do have to get there every morning at 8:30, and you do have to be there every day till 5:30, and you do only get this little teeny weeny break for lunch. And, that was part of the problem with my PT job that I had most recently before I was totally in private practice. We would have to be having our computer information logged in at a certain point at the end of the day. And even if the computers were down for 3 hours, or if we didn't have enough, which was one of our early problems, to have people have time to use them, we still had to have all that stuff on the computer at like 4 o'clock. And it was just impossible. We were doing a horrible job because you had that rigidity in something that is supposed to be flexible. If an old guy is getting his orthotics made by the podiatrist that day, and then he's got a dental problem because his cavity opened up last night and the filling fell out, he can't come to PT at the 10 o'clock time that you thought you were going to see him. And we tried to have schedules. It seems obvious you can make schedules, but when you're elderly, so many things can happen in a day and go wrong. Maybe your aide's called out sick and you're not dressed. So you can't do that. You have to be flexible. And then trying to work in the rigidity of a timeline set on you by a company 15 states away, that doesn't work out. And it just makes you nuts, as many people who work in healthcare can tell you. So try to go with the flow with your day as much as you can, and you will find that you are much more fulfilled and relaxed and calm. And it teaches you one of the most important things to have healthy aging, which is a flexibility in your mind and your thoughts. And that agility can really enhance your life and make you a lot happier. So thanks for joining us. I think we'll be here tomorrow for another episode of Conversations with a Corgi. I have to do all my Sunday morning stuff tomorrow, though. What do you think, Biscuit? Gonna see your wieners? The weenies are coming. The weenies are coming. He loves his weenies. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye, Angel.